अपना मानो देश को, अपना मानो देश को, मानो घर परिवार, कैसे ना हो फिर भला कचरे का निस्तार। चलो बनाए विश्व में भारत की एक शान, चलो बनाए विश्व में भारत की एक शान, स्वच्छ चमकता देश हो अपना अभियान। एक कदम स्वच्छता की ओर। A great good evening to one and all. Respected Principal Dr. B.B. Wafare sir, today's webinar speaker Dr. Nana Shejwalkar sir, all the HODs of various departments, dear staff and students. I welcome you all in the one-day webinar. I, Professor Sangeeta Bode, Faculty of Computer Science Department and a village in charge of Charoli Khurd, take this privilege to welcome you all for the online webinar on rural development through Unnat Bharat Abhiyan and NSS, organized by UBA team and National Service Scheme Unit of MIT Arts, Commerce and Science College, Alandi. शिक्षित भारत, स्वस्थ भारत, स्वच्छ भारत, स्वावलंबी भारत, संपन्न भारत. Now you all are very well familiar with this quote. This is the quote which you can see on the website of UBA. Now what is UBA? UBA, that is Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, is inspired by the vision of transformational change in rural development processes by leveraging knowledge institutions to help build the architecture of an inclusive India. There are various themes under UBA. As foreseen by Gandhiji in his seminal work Hind Swaraj, the Western developmental paradigm based on centralized technologies and urbanization has given rise to serious problems like increasing equity and climate change due to rapid economical degradation. To solve these problems, it is necessary to promote development of rural areas in tune with Gandhian vision of self-sufficient village republics based on local resources and having decentralized eco-friendly technologies so that the basic needs of food, clothing, shelter, sanitation, healthcare, energy livelihood, transportation and education are locally met. This should be the vision of holistic development of villages. The conceptualization of UBA, that is Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, started with initiative of a group of dedicated faculty members of IIT Delhi, working for long in the area of rural development and appropriate technology. This program was formally launched by Ministry of Human Resource Development, MHRD, in presence of the President of India on 11th November 2014. Now, I would like to request our Principal Sir, Dr. B.B. Wafaris, to welcome today's eminent speaker, Dr. Shejwal Sir. Over to you, sir. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sangeeta madam.
Thank you very much, sir.
So, at the outset, I would like to welcome our today's key speaker, Dr. Nana N. Sejwal sir. So, he will be guiding us on the topic rural development through Unnat Bharat Abhiyan and NSS. So, I think all of you are eagerly waiting for his speech, but before this, I will take hardly 2-3 minutes. First of all, I would like to congratulate Sriram sir and his team, all the coordinators, faculty coordinators, and last but not the least, all the students who are involved in this UBA scheme. So first of all, very congratulations to all these people, those who are involved in UBA. Now, today's topic is rural development through Unnat Bharat and NSS. So, as far as rural villages or rural areas are concerned, basically there are many problems And out of these problems, which I think I should discuss here, are the following. So there are many villages where the facilities and education is not provided in a proper manner. Facilities like sanitation, facilities like water, light problem is also there, electricity problem is there. So if we can do something for these people, then I think the purpose of this UBA will be served. And also the problem like literacy problem is also there. Then water problem, as already I told you. And the major problem in rural villages or rural area is the education about the girl students. And for that purpose, I think we, yeah, please switch the mic. Yeah, I think it's okay. And for this purpose, I think we need to change the mentality of the people who are staying in rural areas. So if we can change the mentality of these rural people about the education of girl students and the problems which already I have told you, then I think really the purpose of this UBA will be served. So finally, once again, I welcome Sejwal sir, Sriram sir, all the faculty coordinators and all the student volunteers to this webinar. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, your words, sir, always motivates us. Thanks for your words. Now, I would like to call Professor Archana Ahir ma'am, Department of Arts and Commerce, to introduce today's guest speaker, Dr. Nana Shezwal. Shezwal, sir. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You are audible.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
UBA, it's formally launched on 11th November 2014 by our respected President of India with the mission of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, which is to enable higher education institutions to work with the people of rural India in identifying development challenges and evolving appropriate solutions for accelerating sustainable growth. Yeah, with this aim only, today we have organized a seminar, and I, Professor Archana Ahir, take the opportunity to introduce today's versatile and eminent speaker, Dr. Nana Shezwal, who is Associate Professor from Department of First Year Engineering from AISSMS College Pune, who is also a Program Officer of NSS. Sir has completed his educational qualifications as MSc in Physics Electronics. He has done his PhD in Telecommunications from Yashwantrao Chavan Maharashtra Open University, as well as he has completed PhD in Physics from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University. He has completed ADC SSAA from Mumbai and induction to engineering techniques course from Advanced Vocational Training System Industrial Training Institute, Aund, Pune also. Sir has completed too many orientation, refresher and short-term courses also. Sir is having a rich experience in the teaching area. So more than 20 years teaching experience is there with Sir. He has also performed some administrative duties like program officer, area coordinator, nodal officer, coordinator, in charge, mentor, member, expert, resource person, paper setter, chairman, guardian faculty member, and too many posts. Then Sir has worked with funding projects also. Sir has performed research and academic collaborations with RUSA from India, Crystal Growth Lab from BID, Department of Physics from Savitribai Phule Pune University, Department of Engineering Science, College of Engineering Pune. Sir is having specialized areas from crystal growth techniques, non-linear optical material, and photonics also. Sir has done various synergic activities as a coordinator, convener, chairman, and organizing members also. Sir has delivered too many talks on various topics at international, national level conferences as well as in summer school programs. Sir is having a rich publication also. He has published peer-reviewed papers in peer-reviewed international and national journals. 12 papers are published, 15 papers are published in international conferences, 7 papers are published by Sir in national conferences, and 2 papers are published in state level conferences. Along with this, 11 papers are published by Sir in Scopus and Web of Science. Even though Sir has presented the paper in Innovation in 2016, as well as he has published the paper where the impact factor is having the range from 0.39 to 4.11. Sir has also published the papers in various other proceedings also. Even though Sir is having book publication, Sir has published 2 books. A very precious writing is given by Sir
त्याच्यामुळे येत
in his Applied
बाहेर
Sciences
काढ.
as well as in Practical Handbook of Applied Physics. Even though Sir has attended 29 workshops, seminars, conferences, so because of his entire contribution, he has been awarded. Like, first of all, there is a Best Teacher Award earned by Sir from Asia Arab Summit in recent 2018 only. Sir has been again achieved the Citation Award, Leadership Award, Scientific Award, Sanman Patra, Genius World Record is also made by the Sir, which has been again awarded by the Savitribai Phule Pune University. Also, he has awarded with the Sanman Patra by rural villages and Malwandi Dore village. Sir has been awarded with the best paper presenter. Sir has also awarded with Rajamata Jijau Puraskar. He has been felicitated with the hands of Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar sir. Sir has been certified with the recognition and trophy by AI SSM Society Pune. Sir has been again certified and awarded with the trophy for the noble cause, that is the blood donation camp by Sassoon Hospital, Pune. Sir has been awarded with the trophy for Save River program with Vasundhara Film Festival, Pune. Sir has been again awarded with the certificate of appreciation issued by Engineering Education Foundation, Pune. Sir has been again awarded with the certificate of appreciation given by College of Engineering, AI SSMS College, Pune. He is awarded by the life member of Indian Society for Technical Teacher. He has been awarded by life member of Marathi uh, Vignan Parishad Pune. Sir is a member and awarded by the Forum of Science and Technology and also from the Institute of Engineers, Kolkata, India. Actually, Sir is having a precious, significant, and such a long biodata of 16 pages. At my level best, I have tried to communicate with you within this prescribed time. So really, sir, we are honored with your presence in our seminar. So again, from my side also, I welcome you in this session and thank you for your presence, sir. Over to you, Sangeeta ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Archana ma'am. Hello, am I
Yeah,
audible?
yes, ma'am, you are audible. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yes, really, Archana ma'am has told us the introduction regarding introduction about Dr. Shezwal sir. So really, we feel very pleasure and honor to have you with us, sir. Your thoughts are always motivates us. So To know more about advancement in UBA, we will listen Dr. Nana Shezwal sir, Nodal Officer, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Sir will put some lights on beneficiaries of UBA. Over to you, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir. You are
Ah,
audible.
yes. I am
Thank you very much, sir.
sharing my screen first.
Okay, sir.
And
Excuse me. All
yes,
are requested. No, sir. It's not for you. You present your screen. All are requested to mute their mic. Someone photons mic is on. Photons. Okay, sir.
photons, I think my side.
Madam, that is from the guest only.
Okay, okay, sorry.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Sorry, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Your
Thank
screen
you.
is visible.
Yes. Thank you, madam, for
Thank
giving a brief introduction about me. Good afternoon to all of you. And I will took opportunity to thanks Principal Dr. B.B. Wafare sir, the NSS coordinator and UBA coordinator, the energetic and enthusiastic Dr. Karegaonkar sir, the teaching faculty and non-teaching faculty, the organizing committee members, and the student of Art, Commerce, Science College, and dear participants. You are the chief guest of today's virtual occasion. Without you people, this could not be possible. And thank you for attending and joining this webinar and showing the interest in the rural development and becomes a part of rural development. Friends, today India is very backward in concert to the rural development, or there is no such a progress or growth of rural part of India. They doesn't have any innovation and discoveries, and therefore in the rural development, since from the independence we don't have any innovation or the discoveries. And that's why we are very much lacking in the progress of rural part of India or the growth of India. But in every aspect, the Indian farmers, artisans were renowned at one time. But due to the English education system policy made by Lord Macaulay in 1835, they were made us just as a clerk as per their need. And therefore, they had only need the clerks, and accordingly, they given the education that time and made the policies. Though it happened in long back, till today, we are in that tempers. that our education system is thinking like a clerk. Today, how many really the engineering student use the engineering skills for the rural development? Many of the engineers or our students, they execute the jobs in call centers or telephone operators, talking on phones. Engineering graduate, science graduate, and all the graduate students who had been invention, but because of some education policies, we are very much lacking in that field. And therefore, there is no progress as such in rural part of the India. Now, today we are organizing the seminar for this topic, rural development through Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Why it is needed? Because the UBA ignite your scientific temper, your innovation, your invention, and it will be continue. Because UBA having a multitasking, multi-purpose scheme which is implemented by Government of India long back in 2014. But after, it was only restricted, limited to the government institutes like IIT and the Government College of Engineering and NITs. Later on, the team members of UBA, like a legend like Dr. Mashelkar, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar, they came forward and dialogue with the MHRD Minister, Honorable Prakash Javadekar ji, and put a discussion put forwarded, why not this Unnat Bharat Abhiyan is implementing or open to all the higher education institute in India. And then in 2017, the Prime Minister, MHRD Minister Prakash Javadekar ji and all the team member of UBA sit together and launch UBA 2.0 for all the higher educations. In the first cycle of UBA 2.0, there was only around 700 colleges were selected, and from Maharashtra, there were only not more than 10 colleges were selected for UBA. Rather, it was not applied for it. And in the first cycle, I was applied on the basis of my NSS work, National Service Scheme social work. And first time we got it, we are very much fortunate. In that time, that is in October 2017, the AICT and Government of India, MHRD, organized one conference, Developed Village, Developed Nation. And I am very much fortunate, was one of the resource person for that conference, and I got the chance to present my work with the other institutes of entire countries. And then in UBA 2.0 second cycle, more number of colleges were added, and now there are more than 2,400 colleges, higher education institutes are involved in under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Now the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan is a very flagship program of MHRD, Government of India, which is coordinated by IIT Delhi. And Dr. V.K. Vijay is the national coordinator for this Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Now we'll say that what is the difference between the National Service Scheme and Unnat Bharat Abhiyan? We carried out all the programs, social programs, were carried out through the National Service Scheme. We implement different programs under National Service Scheme with the help of our NSS volunteers. And they are real soldiers. Because of them, we are implementing various schemes which given the name to our institute, to us, and to all the strata of the society. So, UBA mainly is a bridge between the institute and the society. That means whatever we are learning in the class, whatever we are gaining the knowledge in the class, should be used for the development of society practically. It should be implemented practically to enrich the life of the society, life of the people. But many of us is very much knowledgeable in theory, but when it comes in a practical implementation, we are very much lacking in that. And that's why we can say we are backward in that way. Therefore, UBA is directly taking the student knowledge for the benefit of the village society or the strata of the poor region. And hence, I'll go forward with this. So, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan is the very much important scheme implemented by Government of India. With a vision is already and mission statement, which is already explained by the madam. But in the vision, the vision of the UBA is making a transformational changes, alternation of rural development or rural community. What is that transformational changes? For that transformational changes, we need the dedication, we need the devotion, and then it will be possible to achieve the vision of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. We should have the dedicated, devoted teaching staff member and the student, and therefore it brings the transformational changes in the rural part of the India. These transformational changes will going to bring by using our knowledge and not by implementing or sharing our money or the property. Knowledge is a wealth for us, and from that wealth you create the new or generate the new wealth by utilizing the knowledge which is gained in the classroom. And hence, with this vision, the mission of the UBA is the linking between the rural society and the institute, higher educational institute. You have to identify the problem, accept the challenges, and give them the appropriate solution for accelerating, for expediting the sustainable growth. And therefore, the academic system should create the national development. To achieve these goals, To fulfill the vision and mission statement of the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, we require the structural organization. The structural organization at the top is nothing but the MHRD India, because this Unnat Bharat Abhiyan scheme is of MHRD India, which is coordinated by IIT Delhi. Then IIT Delhi, along with the coordinator, national coordinator, there are 4 to 5 zonal officers. Now it is increased 2 more. And then after the zonal officer, we belongs to Mumbai zone. Then after the zonal officer, the principal of the or head of the institute is the chairman of the committee. By default, it's chairman of the committee, UBA committee. And then the UBA coordinator, which executed all the activities, UBA activities, all the facilities he will going to provide to the student, to the UBA volunteer, and to help to the UBA coordinator, there are 2 student coordinator, and that 2 student coordinator we must appoint through the interest and devotion of the student coordinator, just like a NSS student coordinator. Along with this student coordinator, you also at our level, you also appoint a teaching faculty from different departments as a coordinator. And along with this departmental coordinator, also you appoint at a college level advisory board for Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, that is for social responsibility cell. And then the important parameter of this structural organization is UBA volunteer. Without this UBA volunteer, this could not be possible. And this UBA volunteers are the bona fide student of our institute, of our college. And the UBA coordinator should be the member of teaching faculty, or it should be the faculty member who is interested in the social work. And then the last part of it is the beneficiary, that is community, for whom we are implementing or we are doing the work for them. Then we'll go for, after the structural organization, once the structural organization is created in the institute level, at the institute level, then the main focus of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan is the holistic development of the rural community, village community, which having the 3 pillars, which is given by Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj and implemented practically in Karvir state. And then it was followed by Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar and Mahatma Jyotirao Phule and all. All this Shahu Phule Ambedkar and all, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, they devoted their life for social welfare, social equality and social justice. And these 3 parameters together, which we will call the rural development, and that rural development is leads to the national development. Now, what is the development? Development is nothing but the growth or the progress or even the implementation of new idea, innovation is also called as or is referred as development. But there are 2 types of development again, the individual development and the national development. The individual development is based on the income and the other factors, whereas the national development is depends on the rural development and the urban development. Today we are going to focus on the rural part of India, rural development. The national development is nothing but the income of individual Indian citizens, sum of income of individual Indian citizen, and that is we call the national development. So we'll proceed to the village development or the rural development. Why the rural development is needed? What is the background? So the background of the rural development, as I mentioned earlier, it is the backward area of the part of India. Why it is backward? Because of the limitation of facilities, because of the lack of services, because of the lack of amenities, and that's why we are calling it the less developed area of the country. To develop it, to experience its growth or progress, we just involved like a catalyst. We are not interfering anything else, but we expedite the rate of the development. How are we going to expedite the rate of the development without interfering the government systems, without interfering the gram systems? To expedite it, first of all, what is our duty? You have to create the task force first. Task force means the organized team, which includes the multitasking student, multi-talented student, and multi-functioning students. Then the task force includes the teaching faculty, like a UBA coordinator, which is coordinating all the entire activities, UBA activities. And therefore, it needs to develop a good task force, the energetic task force. And once the task force is formed, then the second step is identify the villages. When you're going to identify the villages, you first get the knowledge about that, get the information, collect the information about that village where you are interested to adopt under UBA. There are different parameters to adopt the village, to consider that village for our job. And therefore, identification of the village is very crucial, very important. Means, while going to identify the village, you need to see the political influences. The political influence is the, I can say, is the brake for the growth of the villages. Because of the partition or the different parties in the same village, there are 2-3 parties in a group of 800, 1000 population of the village. And therefore, while identify the village, the first parameter comes into picture, that is, there should be the homogeneity in the village. People should gather and come on the basis of the growth of the village, development of the village. That is we call Gram Vikas. Then the second parameter is that village, how much far away from our institute. That means this will be calculate the efficiency of visit to the villages. And if there is a less efficiency to the visit, we cannot connect to the people, because we need to go there frequently, dialogue with the villagers, and then we'll create our bonding. After creating the bonding, then we'll go for the next step. So while identify the village, all the aspects should consider in the way we're going to visit that villages. Means that village people must accept us. Okay, and we should, when dialogue with that villagers, we should very much honest, we should very much transparent to them. We don't show them we are the officers and we are coming from the college and we are, don't show them like this, like officers. Don't show them the superstition. You go there and come down to the ground level and dialogue with them with a very transparent manner. In this way, you're going to identify the village. And the next point is that you should identify the village which is really a need, which is really a need for the development. Means lack of fund, lack of facilities, lack of health systems, healthcare systems, and so on. So that we'll get the chance to work and going to show the changes after the intervention of our Unnat Bharat Abhiyan scheme. Once you select the village, once you identify the village, communicate that village to the district collector and get the certificate from him. Otherwise, communicate to CEO Jilla Parishad of Pune district or the villages of your district. And then once you get the certificate from the district collector or the CEO of the Jilla Parishad, then that village is authentic. And then you are going to communicate authentically to the chief of the or head of the village or Gram Sevak or any of the government officer. Then organize one visit along with the head of the institute, along with the team of the faculty and along with the selected student. Once you visit that village, you please take a round independently and observe at microscopic level, because your clean observation will help you to find the problems of the village. Dialogue with the people, sit down in their houses and dialogue with the people who are the elder people, as well as dialogue with the people who are very much younger, the youth of the villages, so that you'll get a range of the problems and also you identify it physically during that visit. And then you distribute the task among your coordinators. That means the one team will only identify the water problem or water management system in that village. Another will only work on or identify the problem depending on the energy, that is power, electricity and all these things. The third group is identifying the problem only on education system. In this way, you divide it. The fourth group will identify the problem of healthcare systems. Means whether the health is, what is the health problem, that will be identified through the dialogue with the village community or the village people, as well as dialogue with the PHC center, physical healthcare center. Once you identify the problem and a problem which are identified, you just discuss with them, you just communicate with them. And then the identification problem is a very basic and important and significant step in the development of the village. If you don't find any problem, then there is some mistake in our visit or there is some lacuna in the system. So problem is not there, this is not happen always. Problem is always there. Okay, you need to identify, you need to screening it properly. After identification of the problem, and then you call the Gram Sabha. And that Gram Sabha includes the villagers, includes the Gram Sevak, includes the Gram officers, okay, teachers, that is primary school teachers, and each and every element of that village. Once you call the Gram Sabha, then you'll discuss what you identify the problem, what the village is required. Once you identify the problem, put forwarded them and discuss in the Gram Sabha. Sometimes the Gram Sabha is taking very hot situation. And also the wording of the villagers is, we found very rash in my experience. But later on, we use our communication skill. We use our honesty. We use our transparency in the communication and dialogue with the people who are not aware about this scheme, who are not aware about the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Unnat Bharat Abhiyan is not the money donating scheme. Please clear it in the first meeting. Unnat Bharat Abhiyan is just working as a catalyst for expedient the development of the rural part of that village or the villagers. It is only accelerating the growth of the village and enriching the life of the villagers, so that the life of villager will be enriched, enhanced. Once you find out the problem and conducting one Gram Sabha, immediately communicate to the UBA national coordinator through the web portal, where you have a login ID and password. Then come back to the institute after the Gram Sabha and then find out the probable solution, means analysis of the identified problems. In finding the probability of this probable solution or analysis the problem, you must take into consideration what is the cost of that system. That means your analysis must be cost effective. It must be feasible. It must be efficient and durable. So your solution must be appropriate solution for that identified problem. If you identify the problem on water system and you give a solution which require more than 10 lakh rupees, then that is the problem will created. And this 10 lakh rupees system, it is work for 2 years, it has no of use. And therefore, your solution is not the appropriate solution for that problem. And that's why after getting an complete analysis, and if you come to the conclusion that this solution is very much feasible, then you proceed for implementation it with the help of the Gram Sevak, with the help of the Gram head, and with the help of the Gram villagers. And that's why after the implementation of the solution, it takes more than 4-5 months and so on. It will not happen within a 2 months or within a 1 month or 2 days or 3 days. It is not a short-term goal. It is a long-term goal. And therefore, after implementing entire solution for that problem, then you prepare the report. And that report you need to submit to UBA National Coordinator, IIT Delhi. Now, once you have, the second case is that once you identify the problem, then one more thing is that you need to search or take the help financial supports. Search a financial support, that means you are going to search some government schemes. You are going to search for the financial department and some non-government organization who will going to help you for implementing that solution. That is most important, because money is the criteria, okay, to implement the solution, and therefore it needs a fund. And development of the fund, you need a different, or you need to contact to the different organization. Then we come across the selection of the village. While selecting the village, we'll go one by one. While selecting the village, you need to consider the size of the village. Means consider the moderate size village or the small village. Don't consider the village of very big size like a town and so on. Town like village more than 5,000 population, more than 4,000 population and so on. You need to consider the small size village so that, and that small size villages are having a need of different facilities, having a need of different activities, and they will be become a homogeneous, okay, after your intervention of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. So the appropriate size village should be selected as per my opinion. Then consider the needs and priorities of that village. That needs and priorities of the village you will going to know after your visit, during your visit. Dialogue with the villagers, identified by observations and record it immediately. Then define the activities that can mobilize the complete community. Means the entire village community can be mobilized. Such activities you should define. Otherwise, it is very difficult to expedite that activity, to implement the activities. Basically, use the resources from running government schemes and some resources from NGOs. Means it is very much feasible to use our resources from government scheme, from NGOs or from privates. And then one more factor you need to consider, that is distance from the institute. And there should be less political barriers or less political interference. So in my UBA team, we selected the rural village which is very close to Panset Dam, and it is 52 kilometers away from our institutes, having population more than 1500, where one physical healthcare center is there and 3 schools are there of JP. Then the source of drinking water and the water for other utilization, Mula River, directly comes to the water tank, and nearest railway station is Pune, which belongs to the Velle Tehsil. Then in Mahawar Tehsil, I selected Malwandi Dore village, which is 50 kilometers away from the institute, and total number of household is 120. Is a small village among the group of 5 village. And water sources is directly fetching the water by the electric pump from Pauna River. Then another 2 villages are, one is Tulapur and one is Kondanpur Kalyan, which is situated, Kondanpur and Kalyan is in Haveli Tehsil. The development is nothing but we require the infrastructure. That means nothing but the development. But the infrastructure means the activities, different kinds of activities. Means such activities or such a services or the facilities which are needed to provide different kinds of services in an economy. That services or the activities or facilities must be the road, transportation, power, electricity, and so on. There must be a good education system. There must be a healthcare system, the water management, sanitation, women empowerment, agriculture, energy, entrepreneurship, and employment. Please switch up your mic, please, participant. And therefore, the rural development means to progress our rural part of India or our villages, we need a infrastructure. And that infrastructure, first of all, the road and transportation system is required. But the internal roads of the village must be good enough. There should be a transportation to reach the village, the transportation is needed. Government transportation should be there. And if it is not there, the government transportation is not there, then you request to the nearest bus station, nearest bus officer, and request them to allow one bus or to start one bus for that village. And therefore, in one of the village, we identified the problem in rural village where the road is not available for the school. The new school building was constructed, but the road situation was very bad to it. And then from the main road, we cannot reach properly. The student, the teacher, and the guest, everyone is not reaching properly to the school. So in one of the picture, I showed the road before the construction, approaching road to the school. And then we started the cement concrete road to construct it, which is the part of our infrastructure. We construct the road for that school. We get the funding from the NGO, funding from the villagers, and then start the work. And in this way, we use our knowledge of civil engineering department and construct a cement concrete road for that school with the help of the villagers. We always involve the villagers in the activities. Then second part of this infrastructure, the toilet facilities now was not available in the school. So we asked the Gram Sevak and the villagers, if we provide the toilets from any of the agencies or from the Gram Panchayat scheme, then we're going to implement that toilets along with the safety tanks. And the work is shown in the picture, in the slide. So in the infrastructure, we implement such a project under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan and National Service Scheme for one of the village. And now we are very much close together. The institute and the villagers are very much close together for the implementing the activities. Now all the villagers, all the dignitaries from the villages supporting to the UBA activities. And therefore, the UBA is the link between the villagers, that is village community, and the institute. So this is very much important to develop ourselves. Okay, we use our knowledge to develop the village community. Then next part of the infrastructure is the education system. That is the part of the development. This is the important aspect of the education, where Jyoti Savitribai Phule started the education for the girl child in Pune in a long back, very difficult time. So sit idle no more, go get education. Education is the power. Education is the wealth today. And therefore, education is very much important, but that education system, all of you know very well what is the situation of the education system in today's 21st century. It needs to be changed. I will not dialogue with the education system or the policies implementation of the education system. But if we see our education system, it has 3 layers in India. When the World Bank is intervened in education system, that times our government made the education system in 3 layers. The one layer, first layer, is very basic layer, is the primary education, which is given by government schools, given in the government schools. And that government school education is very poor due to the lack of infrastructure. Whereas the second layer, they made the English medium schools. Now the English medium schools closed, the door of the English medium school is never open for the poor or the rural community children. Poor children or the poor kids never admitted due to the lack of fund, lack of money or the income. And therefore, they are away from, automatically, they are pushed away from the English medium schools, or the, we can say, the quality education. The question mark on the quality I will going to put. And then CBSE board come into the picture. CBSE board having different syllabus, then ICSE board having different syllabus, the Jilla Parishad school having different syllabus, and English medium school having different syllabus. Then there is a state board and CBSE board and ICSE board. Means these are the three layers in the education system. Educated, the education is giving in the Indian country like India. Why it is need? Those having money, they will automatically go into the English medium school or in the CBSE syllabus, or they are learning the ICSE syllabus. Whereas my poor child is educating in taking an education in the ZP school, where the lack of facility is there. And this makes a difference in the quality of the education. And that's why you should focus on the ZP school or the government school, so that they will give the education or the learning facility just like a ICSE or CBSE board. The one of the examples I will going to quote, the International School of Wablewadi. I visited twice to that school. One teacher, one ZP school teacher can make this change. Why not we? The international school, first international school in the world. The principal Ware sir took an initiative, gathered all the villagers and start the education. Now the 4th standard student is taking an education of 12th standard syllabus. The 7th standard student is taking an education of drone and the robotics. So this is the quality of the poor or the quality of the child cannot be measured through ICSE or CBSE or the English mediums. If you give them the same knowledge, same syllabus, they will able to learn. Their capacity, their capability is there, but system is making a barrier between these three regions, 3-layer system. And that's why we need to work for the education system very well. To improve that education system, the government school education system or the learning environment, we need to donate some computers because it's a need of the 21st century. And today, some of the natural calamity, just like a pandemic, we are dialoguing with the help of the information technology. And therefore, it is a need of 21st century. The technological tool must be available at their doorstep. The technological tool must be available at their houses, so that the information of knowledge will be at their fingerprints or the fingertips. And hence, we thought that the computer is not available to the children in the ZP school, or the printer is not available. Then we dialogue with the teachers. We conducted a Gram Sabha only for teachers, only for education system, along with the education committee of Gram Panchayat. And then we thought that the computers is not available. So we donate the 2 computers and a printer for that school, and we started the computer literacy syllabus. And continuously, our 2 students is visiting to the school, different school in different adopted villages, a couple of students, and they are taking the computer syllabus which is designed by us for them. Continuously, we are implementing the computer literacy in the ZP school. Also, meanwhile, we are taking the English speaking course for the children, for the school children, and therefore the quality of that children, they have increased the confidence of learning. They are not feeder for English and the computer and everything, and they are very much eager to learn because it's a computer era. And the second one, the Jilla Parishad provided some of the equipment, playing equipment to the school, and we implement all the equipments in the school, sliding and seesaw and etc. We also taken responsibility to repair that computer which is provided by us so that it will give services continuously. Second is, there is a very poor concentration towards the government school. There is lack of teacher in the government school. The villages which I adopted, in one village, there are only 2 teachers since from last 2 years. And one teacher is always busy in the government data providation or different tasks allotted to them. And therefore, there is no time to teach in the class, conducting in the class. And therefore, the multitasking teachers are there in the ZP school. The teacher having different tasks to complete it along with the lectures and the activities, teaching activities. And therefore, we're going to fill up this gap. So if our student is talented, if our student is eager to learn or give the learning system or involved in the learning system, you can involve. And in this way, our Unnat Bharat Abhiyan scheme is going to help them to improve or enhance the education in the government school. Okay, we are not interfering the system of the government or system of the education. We are just taking a part and helping them with our knowledge. Then the next part comes into the picture, that is health of the villagers. Health of the villagers are very poor. They find different types of problems, disease. A good health system needed for the villagers. And we identified this problem, and regularly we are organizing the health checkup camp with the free medicines with a different government organization along with the PSC center and along with the private hospitals or the organization. So this is different disease, reason of different disease is one reason of drinking water. We need the good healthcare system. Our role is promote that healthcare system and maintaining it. Promotion of the healthcare system by implementing different types of health checkup camps, by implementing different types of health programs and so on continuously, so that the villagers will get help for the health. Preventing and managing the decision means sometimes villagers doesn't know the scientific idea or the knowledge about their disease, and sometimes they are superstition, they are going under superstition and taking some advice from them, and because of the wrong medicine or the wrong procedure, medical procedure, they are suffering from some different disease. Reducing unnecessary disability. If you implement our good healthcare system, it will going to reduce the unnecessary disabilities, premature deaths, health equity for all. If we think about the Indian scenario, we have 1500 people per one doctor per 1500 people. This is very much less doctors in the our country. Whereas if you think about Canada, USA, around 300 people have one doctor having for 300 people. But our number is 5 times more than that. So contact to different NGO, different organizations who are working in the healthcare system, and along with them, you need to implement this system continuously and take a follow of that. It may be the eye checkup camp, it may be the some other diseases, but you need to work continuously for this. And in this way, you identify the problem related to the health. And then we identify the problem in Malwandi village, the problem like diarrhea and so on, the stomach problem. And then we contact to the PSC center, the head of the PSC center, and I asked them. And then they said that the drinking water facility is very poor. The rainwater is flowing through the Pauna river and directly come into the drinking water well, and then it is fetched to the tank. Then we thought that why not we work on it so that the clean drinking water system will be giving the good health to the villagers. And then I find some of the NGOs, some of the foundations are good supporting private organizations. And I conducted one Gram Sabha and then decided to implement the RO plant for clean drinking water. Then I appointed a committee for designing and developing the RO plant, what will the cost and everything. And then one of the team work over it, submitted the report to me, and the cost of the RO plant was not more than 2 lakh. Okay. According to our design and the capacity and the population of the village and the requirement of the villages. And then we called the quotation, we got the quotation, and the we finalized the price with the help of villagers and everything. And in the last year, in the month of January 2019, we start this project and implemented up to March 2019. Right now, the villagers get the good drinking water, clean drinking water. Everyone get the clean drinking water. But this drinking water will not giving free of cost. We are fitted the ATM machine, and when we put 5 rupees coin in that ATM machine, they will get 20 liters of water, a can of 20 liters of water. And therefore, that collection of 5 rupees, we are utilizing for the maintenance of that, submitted to the Gram Panchayat office and utilize it for the maintenance of the filters and the entire machine. Now, since from March 2009, the machine is very much utilizing by the villagers, and the feedback is received by me from the different villages. Along with this RO plant, we have constructed a series of reservoir, okay, the retaining walls at rural village. And that retaining wall is very much useful for the nearby farmers for the farming, the animals, wild animals, and the other purposes. Also, because of this retaining wall, the level of well water is increased. And this is the outputs of these schemes implemented under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. So the management of water resources is the natural resources like well, rivers, dams, tube wells, etc. We should identify present in the village. Drinking and household needs for water, recreation we need water, industry we need water, Agriculture means we require water everywhere, and clean drinking water sources is must to us. But the villages which are nearby Pune city, and if you look the scenario of all the rivers flowing from the nearby Pune city, they are all carrying dirty water, just like a drainage. And that's why the villages which are drinking the water or fetching the water from these rivers, they are very much of poor quality or not drinking quality water. So we'll take some projects like this. And one more project that is in Kalyan village, we have taken under the water reservoir dam, so that it will provide the drinking water to them forever. Then sanitation is the another problem we identified at Tulapur village first, where the drainage system was not good nearby the school. Okay, nearby the school, ZP school Tulapur, the drainage was flowing and all the drainage water gathered in front of the school, and the school children were jumping from that water, teacher also jumping and reached to the school. And the teacher requests us, this is the problem, can you give any solution to this? Drainage is flowing in front of us and everything. Because of that, villagers are not bothering about that, not listening to the teacher and everyone. Then we identify the problem and we give the solution to them. Why not we construct the soak pit? We start to construct the soak pit nearby that village or nearby that school, and entire drainage water is get collected in that soak pit and get or percolate in the soil. In this way, we identify the problem and give a solution to them, and now there is no any saturation of drainage water in front of the school, and it's very clean environment, and the problem get resolved. Now, the another problem we undertaken at Malwandi village. In the Malwandi village, it's a very small village, 50 kilometers away from in Mahawal Tehsil, where the drainage system is not available. Means the drainage water is flowing on the common roads. And when it is flowing on the common roads, a big pits, a deep pits was created. And from the big dips or potholes, all the vehicles will passing. And when the vehicles are passing, you know, the water is scared all the times. So we find that we dialogue with the villagers, and first of all, we identify the problem, dialogue with the villagers, and every villagers are not agree to making the drainage system. They were opposed to it because they don't require to make a drainage system from their private space, and that's why everyone was not agreed to for that drainage system. Then we decided we are not going to give, or I dialogue with the Gram Sabha in the Gram Sabha that if you are not giving space for the drainage, dirty water which is flowing from your house, outlet of your house, then you are not right to make it open or drain it on the open space or on the government space on the road, common roads. Then we'll thought that you will going to construct again a soak pit, then you drain your water, okay, outlet of your drainage should be in your space only, not on the common space. Why should you making dirty the village? Okay, who will going to clean it then? Then they listen, and we decided, come to the conclusion that you will making the soak pit construction. Then we'll start the soak pit construction work on the pilot basis. We find out the output and the working efficiency of that too. And we find out within 6 months there is no any percolation, there is no any water going to overflow or something like that because of the sludge and all this. And then we'll decided to implement this project in an entire village. Now the villagers are agree to implement this project everywhere, or every household is agreed to that. So in this way, we overcome the problem with a communication and with the support of the villagers. For this, we find out some financial support from the NGO and all the other financial, good financial private institutes. So sanitation problem in this way we tackle by using the village participation. Then agriculture is the most important part of our village community. Then we are focused on the organic farming and the agriculture based products. First, we will discuss with them by organizing the good resource persons from the agriculture sectors. That is we call the farming sabha, farmers sabha. We farmers meeting we organized with the help of good resource persons. Then that good resource person is deliver the address to them different types of problems of the agriculture market problems and all these things. Then one by one farmers is approaching to us and discussing the problems with the help of the agriculture department of Mawal Tahsil. Then we suggested them to the diversification of the agriculture, that is group production. Means instead of doing the single farming, we're going to do the farming of group farming. Means shifting from single cropping system to multi-cropping system. Means if you have 2-acre land, then instead of taking a rice in over 2 acres, you should take more than 2 crops simultaneously. Means half part of it utilized for the rice and half part of it utilized for some vegetables and all that. So that if the natural calamity is occurs, then if the rice is gone or some vegetables is gone in the natural calamity, you'll having the another crops will be helping you or giving production to you, and that production helps for the survival of the life. So in this way, multi-cropping system helps them to the, and one of the farmers did the experiment in the Malwandi Dore village. He put the 200 sapling of hapus variety of mango, and we implement it in a 2 acres. And along with that hapus variety of mango trees, we are also taking the second crop in the same farming. So in this way, we are going to implement a one by one scheme, agriculture scheme in that village. And villager, in the second aspect is that we are not providing the tree plantation we are going to do everywhere. But since from last 3 years, we are not doing the tree plantation. We are purchasing the fruit plant like coconut trees, like mango trees, like a jambul, sitafal. Okay, we are going to asking donation for purchasing these trees from the garden nursery, and we or otherwise we ask to the different nursery to donate us some of the sapling like mangoes or the jambul or the some fruit samples were sapling only, and that fruit sapling we are distributing to the villagers, okay, individually by giving the name the tree adoption scheme. Means you have to adopt that tree, and you have to grow it. You have to take care of that tree, and coconut tree or any trees which are donated by us. So because of this tree adoption scheme, each and every donated tree or the sapling or fruit sapling is now in a well condition, and they are putting or that are planting in front of their house or or in their corners of the land, so that it will get water regularly. They are taking care about it. Okay, so in this way we are finding the solution over not carrying the sapling when we implementing and came back to our institute. So this is multi-cropping system we are implemented. We are suggested to the adopted village farmers of the adopted village. Then the food grains to crash crop. The concept of food grains to crash crop is nothing but if you sell the food grains in the market, like the entire tour or the wheat like this, okay, the rate of that food grains is very low. Okay, 20 rupees kg, 40 rupees kg, like this. But if we process it and if we sell it in terms of tur dal or in terms of the product, okay, then the cost of the same food grains increased and it will get more profit to that. So we suggest some of the process for this system. And in this way, in the market, how the cost of the product will be increased. That in that way, we are suggesting, we are implementing, and we are taking the resource person, a good person from that field. Engaging the two or more crops in growing wide variety of crops that I just telling the example. Then in addition to that scheme, in addition to the farming, we are giving, because the farming is in the lost, everyone is going to say it is in lost. And the new generation of the farmers, new generation of the villagers is not ready to do the farming, is not ready to work in the farming because it has uncertainty in the production. Because of the natural calamity, because of the marketing scenario, and so many reasons are there. And therefore, the next generation is not concentrating on the farming. And if the next generation is not concentrating on the farmers, then it is very difficult to get a food grains to us for the city area. Really, the immunity power is based on the food grains and the fruits which are produced by the farmers. And you are not giving the cost for them. We are asking them a very low cost when it is sell in the market. So farmers, when we are locking in the house, the farmers will work in their farms and providing the food grains, taking production of food grains and the fruits provided to us to improve our immunity. There was a problem of health system, but not a problem of economic system. Health system is suffering, but because of the health system, economic system should not be suffered, and therefore that time farmer is supporting to the production of the fruits and which enhance the immunity power of us. Along with secondary supplementary business should be there, like animal husbandry, dairy, fishery, horticulture, information technology is needed for the communication. Once you produce the crop in that field, that crop should be sold at a proper cost in the market. And to getting the information about the market, you should know the information technology. So this is regarding the agriculture sector. Then we will proceed with the women empowerment. We are not concentrating on the women empowerment in India. But Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar said that the measure of the progress of the community, whether it is rural or the urban community, by the degree of the progress which the women have achieved. Women is an important part of our country. We are just we are just announcing the gender equality, but actually we are not giving the gender equality at the proper place, at the proper manner. So an educated woman has a skill, information and self-confidence. She needs to be a better parent, she needs to be a better worker and needs to be a better citizen. Breaking cycles of poverty. If the woman is get educated, get empowered, then it will be support to breaking the cycle of the poverty. And therefore, you need to find out the problems of the women, and that problems of the women is identified by taking the women meetings frequently, dialoguing with the girl student, dialoguing with the girl child, and then you should provide the education to them, you should provide the business to them, you should inculcate them the business mind or inculcate the business facilities, activities. So sometimes the women is hesitate to speak with us, but after the dialoguing with them frequently, they are openly discuss their problem with us. And in this way, you identify the problem regarding the women empowerment, which will be help for the rural development. Then Nirmal Gram Abhiyan or Nirmal Gram scheme. We implement Nirmal Gram scheme with the help of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan and the National Service Scheme. We are talking about the smart cities, but not talking about the smart village. First, you talk about the smart people. Smart people made our smart villages, prepared the smart villages. And therefore, we are first taking a part for the smart villages by identifying the drainage system, by identifying the sanitation problem, by identifying the cleanness problem in the village. And then we provided them the buckets, one for the dry and one for the wet. And therefore, this smart village concept we are going to implement through UBA by identifying the problem, different problems. Once you go get the and overcome the different problems, by implementing our knowledge and our skills, then your adopted village will be the smart village. Then unemployment is the basic problem. Everyone is talking about the unemployment. Many youth educated 12th standard, 10th standard, 7th standard like this, the less education they are taking, some of them are taking completed graduation, or few of them is post graduation. But when they are taking graduation and completed graduation, when they come out, the employment problem is the biggest problem in India, and in the rural part it is too much. This unemployment is the situation where the person is able or willing to do the work but do not get work at the existing wage rate. Means that youth of the village youth is ready to willing to do some work, is having ability to do the work, but is not getting the work, okay, at the existing rate, at the existing price. And therefore, such type of youth or the person is called unemployed. The majority of the person or the youth are unemployable. If you want to take the data or the information about the unemployment of your village, find out the report of Census of India, find out the report of National Sample Survey Organization, and find out the report of Directorate General of Employment and Training. These three organizations, government organizations, you will get the information regarding unemployment of the youth in the Pune district, in the Tehsil, Mahol Tehsil, and all that. Then, depending on this data, there are two types of unemployment, or there are many types of unemployment. Distinguished unemployment, seasonal employment, open unemployment, and other type of unemployment. Supposed to be, the more people are engaged in the work than really it need. Means one product is there, one manufacturing production is there, or the farmers which are working in the farming, okay, if it requires 10 workers, okay, and actually it works 15 number of workers for the same job, and sometimes that sometimes that industrialist is understand that the 15 numbers of workers are very much more numbers. The same work will be performed by 10 number of people. Then why not these people? 5 people is excess. That he removed that 5 people, he stopped the work of that 5 people, and that 5 people becomes jobless. And that is we call the distinguished unemployment. Some of the jobs are there is only the seasonal. Season depends on the certain seasons. Means when the sugar factory is running, some of the workers is migrated from one district to another district and work for the sugar factory. But when the sugar factories get shut down in the month of April or May, then all the workers is go back and they becomes unemployed. So this is nothing but seasonal unemployment. In the unemployment, open unemployment, the person is able and willing to do the work in the prevailing wages rate, but fails to get it. Means what? The one of the person, now the situation due to the pandemic is like this. The person is willing to do the work, getting the job for any cost, for any wages. Means if it is 10 rupees wage, he is willing to do it at 8 rupees only, but he requires a job. And this is nothing but open unemployment. And that open unemployment is biggest number in our country. And the other types of unemployment is industrial unemployment. Means during this pandemic situation, many of the industries get closed down, and many people lose their jobs. Educated unemployment, that means educated unemployment, many of the students is completed the graduation, post-graduation, and doesn't having the jobs. And then frictional unemployment means if supposed to be in between two, there is some friction, okay, social friction or something like that, opinion friction, thought friction, then the person boss is saying that tomorrow you don't come to the job. This is known as frictional, and that becomes unemployed. And this is known as frictional unemployment. And this unemployment you have to overcome by giving them some jobs, by giving them some small business which based on agriculture, which based on the local requirement or the local facility available to them. Then this is the unemployment is the biggest problem. When once you entered in the village and taking 2-3 gram sabha, this problem is very hot problem. Everyone is going to discuss this problem all together. Development, the sustainable development needs to fulfill this requirement, satisfied this all requirement. Then we can say the development is achieved through Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Friends, this rural development is not possible, or the rural sustainable development or the village enrichment of the village life, enhancement in the supporting to the village life is not possible without these soldiers, without this army. And these are my UBA team members, student members, and the NSS student members. Okay, so best NSS volunteer, they are felicitated by some of the dignitaries like Saeed Tamankar, or the great actress from Marathi industries, film industries. So this rural development is possible to me, or implementing the project very much to me because of this my students. And this is the team of the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, which contains the HOD of all the departments from civil to mechanical, all the selected students from each and every department along with me. And in this way, we visited to different adopted villages, identified their problems, taking an opinion, preparing the report, and then we are going to find the implementing that scheme after discussing with each other. And the final conclusion is taken by UBA coordinator. And thank you very much dialoguing with you. Thank you again, the MIT Art Commerce Science College, Pune, Alandi, Pune, for giving me an opportunity to dialogue with me. Thank you very much. Over to you, Karegaonkar sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for your nice say. Anybody?
Hello. Hello.
Please, over to you.
Hello.
Over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Your guidance will always motivate us. Sir, your valuable information regarding how to successfully implement UBA mission in the adapted villages will definitely help us in future. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Now the question answer session is there. Dear students and the faculty participants, those who want to ask any question to sir, they can ask. You can unmute your mic and you can ask the question, or you can type in the chat box also.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir. Am I audible? Ma'am?
Yes.
Sangeeta, ma'am.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Good evening, sir. I'm Professor Arvind Wagaskar. Sir, we have adopted 5 villages. MIT College, we have adopted 5 villages,
Yes.
out of which Rolli, Markal, Koyai, and Sodu, which are situated on Indrayani and the Bhima River, and
Okay.
which are becoming the most polluted rivers nowadays. Now,
Okay.
my request to you, please guide us how we can help villagers to come out of this biggest problem with the help of UBA. Thank you, sir.
Yes, it is the area of Indrayani River and the Bhima River.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, you are talking about the pollution of the river water, or you are talking about the water which is utilized for the agriculture purpose, or water utilized for the drinking purpose? Okay,
Sir,
that is
actually,
two aspects.
okay.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, due to the increasing water hyacinth, or we call it as a jalparni, due to increase in that, what happens is this river water becomes so polluted. Even the cows and buffaloes, means they cannot drink that water. So all the villages are facing that problem. And
Yes.
same water is percolated through the wells and all the water sources.
Okay, it is the biggest problem. Okay, first
Yes,
of
sir.
all, it is the biggest problem. It hampers to the villages, no doubt. But we should talk with the Pune Municipal Corporation, where the water filtration plants are there. That water filtration plant should be, because it is a very big problem. We cannot solve at the village level, but we can do it. In what way? That water filtration plants are required, but there are certain methods for the filtration of water. Okay, sludge method and all the other methods are there. In my village, that is, which is situated in Bay of Pauna River, Malwandi Dore, the same outlets of the industries, they are directly open it in the river, Pauna River, and they are facing the problem of drinking water problem. Okay, because the percolation in directly in the well. So if the drinking water problem is there, then we can think over it. But for the entire river, we cannot implement the scheme, or you can write the big project, okay, for the government of India through UBA, okay, and ask them for funding. Before asking the funding, you need to identify the feasible water filtration system, okay, for them. And then, because there is no any alternative for apart from this water filtration plant, and that water filtration plant will be at the biggest level, means the big project is there. It is not at the village level, and so that all will getting benefited because of. And you also write from your side a letter to PMC, okay, so that they will be giving some solution over it. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. थँक्यू सर. कारण सर काय होतंय, म्हणजे हे जे आहेत ह्या पाण्यामुळे गावाचं जे गाव पण आहे, जी आम्ही लहानपणी जिथं नदीमध्ये पोहायला जात होतो वगैरे, त्या सगळ्या गोष्टी बंद व्हायला लागल्या. कारण नद्या इतक्या खराब झाल्या की त्याचा काही युजच व्हायला लागला नाही.
हो, फर्स्ट आपणच त्या नद्या खराब करायला कारणीभूत आहोत, पहिली गोष्ट. त्याच्यामुळेच आपण दर 2 ऑक्टोबरला किंवा मीन व्हाईल NSS ची सगळी टीम आपण इंद्रायणी नदी किंवा पवना किंवा हे आपल्या मुळा मोठ्याला लावत असतो. ओके, पण त्याच्यावरून काय, ओके, मुख्यतः काय आहे की पहिल्यांदा आपण लोकांचाच अवेअरनेस आपल्याकडे नाहीये. पहिली गोष्ट, लोक अवेअरच नाही की आपण ते प्रत्येकाने आपल्या घरातलं जर पाणी जर का फिल्टर लावून, ओके, म्हणजे त्या सोसायटीने, इव्हन सोसायटीने फिल्टर लावून जर का ड्रेनेज केलं किंवा ड्रेन केलं, तर मात्र आपली मुळा मोठा नदी एवढी घाण दिसणार नाही, किंवा तिचं जे घाणीचं साम्राज्य ते कमी होईल. पण आपल्याकडे एवढी इम्प्लिमेंटेशन सिस्टीमच नाही, आपल्याकडे एवढं इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर अजून तरी डेव्हलप झालं नाही की जेणेकरून अब्रॉड सारखं फिल्ट्रेशन प्लांट प्रत्येक सोसायटीत असेल आणि फिल्टर केल्यानंतर. पण ती गोष्ट मला वाटतं पुढच्या 10-20 वर्षात ती नक्की इम्प्लिमेंट होईल. जसं एक काळ असा होता की बिल्डिंग बांधायचे, पार्किंगचा प्रश्न रस्त्यावर लावायचे, पण आता बिल्डिंगचा परमिशन देताना पार्किंग तुमच्या बिल्डिंग खाली असलं पाहिजे, अशा प्रकारे चेंजेस येतील. फक्त ते इट इज स्नेल्स स्पीड ओनली. पण जर का
Thank you,
आपल्याला
sir.
गावाला ड्रिंकिंग वॉटर जे युटिलाइज करायचं असेल किंवा वापरण्यासाठी म्हणजे ड्रिंकिंग पर्पजसाठी नाही पण वापरण्यासाठी जर युटिलाइज करायचं असेल तर गाव लेवलला आपण फिल्टर प्लांट करू शकतो. एक 5 लाखापर्यंत वगैरे असं त्याचे म्हणजे ते गाई म्हशी किंवा जनावर जे आहेत ते पिण्यास लायक होईल किंवा वापरण्यालायक ते पाणी होईल एवढ्यापर्यंत आपण ते पाणी करू शकतो आपल्या ह्या मेथडने ट्रेडिशनल मेथडने
हो हो
वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे फिल्टर वापरून. अशी सिस्टीम तुम्हाला बघायची असेल तर कॉलेज ऑफ इंजिनिअरिंगचं जे हॉस्टेल आहे शिवाजीनगरला त्या हॉस्टेलमधून त्या हॉस्टेलच्या बिल्डिंग मधून जितकं पाणी बाहेर निघतं ओके ड्रेनेज ते ड्रेनेजचं पाणी तिथे फिल्टर केलं जातं पूर्णतः आणि ते पाणी रियुटिलाइज केलं जातं रिसायकल केलं जातं पुन्हा ओके फॉर आपलं वॉशिंग क्लोथ वॉशिंग अँड समथिंग लाईक दॅट ओनली नॉट फॉर ड्रिंकिंग वॉटर आणि गार्डनिंगसाठी. ते तिथं तो प्रोजेक्ट त्यांचा केलेला आहे लाईव्ह प्रोजेक्ट आहे तुम्ही तिथे जाऊन बघू शकता. आय व्हिजिटेड देअर. तर तसं गावामध्ये एखादा प्रोजेक्ट करून म्हणजे आपल्याकडे फिजिकल पॉवर आहे की खड्डा आपण किती मोठा खणू शकतो. त्याच्यानंतर आपण त्याच्यासाठी सँड लागते त्याच्यासाठी खडी लागते त्याच्यासाठी वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारच्या डिफरंट साईजच्या सँड लागतात फक्त आणि मग एका बाजूने हे आपल्याला स्लेज वॉटर इनपुट देता येतं. आउटलेट विल बी अ व्हेरी प्युअर वॉटर जस्ट अ पर्क्युलेशन सिस्टम. ओके
येस
हा
थँक्यू सर.
ओके.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, sir.
Okay.
Now I would like to call Professor Diksha Kadam, Department of Arts and Commerce, to give vote of thanks. Over to you, Diksha ma'am.
Yes, am I audible? I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, ma'am. Perfect.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. मेरे देश की धरती सोना उगले उगले हीरे मोती मेरे देश की धरती. यह देश जैसे वीर जवानों का है वैसे ही वीर किसानों का है. यह देश जैसे शहरों का है वैसे ही ज्यादा गांवों का है. A very warm evening to each and everyone present here. I, Professor Diksha, would like to take this opportunity to propose a vote of thanks and a quick review of today's program on Unnat Bharat Abhiyan scheme. Today we were enlightened with an astounding and a grounded personality, I would say, Dr. Nana Shejwar sir, who has been observed as one of the efficient NSS officer and a nodal officer of UBA, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Sir, as you said, that rural development is a national development. We all are somewhere or other linked to the soil of villages because I believe that the modern India is situated on the labors of all those innocent laborers who contributes in building the nation. So far, 2011 census of India is concerned, 68.84% of Indians live in 6,40,867 different villages. In Maharashtra, 43,722 villages are there, sir. So this is a true picture of India, and we being Indian should never forget that if we wish to live in urban area, we also should look after and try to solve the issue of villagers around us, and Unnat Bharat Abhiyan takes care of it. Why there is a less development in the village of India, you talked upon. Dear sir, you talked also upon the duties of us being citizens of India. You also focused on how creation of task forces of the efficient students, citizens, teachers can make this task easier. Sir, the various steps of functions of UBA that you referred were really appreciable. It shows your strong desire and heartfelt emotions for the villagers. Dear all, here, Sir also told us of removing obstacles with the efficient solutions. Sir, you have also focused on how the collective responsibilities can lead the nation towards best of the achievable developments. Dear sir, you have also thrown light on how teachers can bring the light in the lives of the students of the villagers with their responsibilities and the duties. You also talked about the health conditions of the villagers. You shared with us the simple steps of reaching to the villagers and making their life more better. क्योंकि जब हम भारत मेरा देश कहते हैं तब वो जो अपनापन है वो हमारे निस्वार्थ सेवा भाव से देश को उन्नत बनाता है, देश को आगे बढ़ाता है, ऐसा मैं सोचती हूँ. Sir, right from the small kids to the old people, you took into consideration the mental, educational, social, cultural, technological growth of New India, which still lives in the villages. So, this task is the biggest challenge before all of us that we understood. Now, coming to the formal thanking, first of all, I would like to thank today's speaker, Dr. Nana Shezwar sir, for the best guidance on UBA. Secondly, I will thank Honorable Principal of our college, Dr. Bibi Wafare, for being the constant source of motivation to all of us. I would also offer my thanks to Project Director of our college, Mr. Vijay Khode sir. I would also here mention specially Student Coordinator for overall coordination, Mr. Kamesh Gautam, for designing banner, Shubham Falke, for certificate designing, Tanmay Kumbar, all the volunteers, NSS volunteers, all the UB volunteers, all village in charges, that is Professor Sangeeta Bode, that is Arvind Wagaskar sir, Professor Shailendra Patil sir, Professor Vasant Karmad sir, Professor Praveen Kharat sir, all the staff who help technically, all those of you who directly and indirectly involved in this best activity, all the HODs of various departments, principal, vice principal, all the teaching and non-teaching staff who actually involved in this process and in the best lecture that we have gone through. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Over to you, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you so much, Diksha ma'am, for your
Yes.
nice speech. Now here, Shriram sir, am I audible? Shriram sir.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ.
You are audible.
Yes. Now the program is over. May I
Yes.
announce? Yes.
Yes.
Now, thank you
ma'am.
so much, dear student, faculty participant. Thank you so much for patience listening. Now here, I would like to announce the program is over.
Okay, ma'am, just one instruction to all the participants.
Okay, sir.
This is it's just in an informal way. I would like to bring to the notice of our guest speaker and all participants that we have call for proposals regarding the village development, rural development. So I just request it's an appeal for all to just if you have any for the rural development, then please forward them, and we'll be submitting to the appropriate officer. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, sir.